Hi, my name's Marlene Elizabeth. This is Forsake the Foolish channel where I screen share Bible studies word for word. However, today's video won't be a word study, but my answer to a response I received about a comment I posted on Tim Foster's 405 channel. And this may also serve as a how to understand the Strong's Concise Dictionary. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of a background. This is Tim Foster's channel. This is this guy here. Hi Tim, hope you're watching. You posted on your community page, you posted this post here. Oh, what happened? Read more. Okay, this is what you posted about Psalms 23 verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod, in brackets Strong's Word 7626, and your staff, they comfort me. And you ask the question, Tim, how can a rod comfort anyone? Does that make sense? And you say, look up the Hebrew meaning for rod. It's not what everyone thinks. Strong's 7626 Shabbat, rod, staff, club, scepter, tribe, and you've capitalized tribe. So this comforting rod is a tribe. So the Lord is going to use a tribe to comfort his people. I didn't bother reading the rest of your post because this is feeding into something else you're wanting to teach. My only concern was when you started off doing this, I could see straight away that you're picking and choosing these words. Now, this is what I wrote to you in response. This is my comment here. I said to you, Tim, do you know that every word after the colon in the Strong's definition is how the word, e.g., Hebrew's word 7626, is translated in English, question mark? If you use the lexicon Hebrew dictionary, it will give you further and more accurate understanding as what is to meant. It's not tribe, as you say. And I give you 4 Hebrew lexicons that tell you that in this particular verse, it's not tribe that's meant, it's a shepherd's implement, a club, a shepherd's staff, a shepherd's rod or crook. And this is a generic understanding here, but it is basically a versatile tool for controlling individuals and the herd of flocks. So it's a shepherd's tool. And they all cite Psalms 23:4. That's 4 witnesses saying in Psalms 23:4 it's a shepherd's implement, not tribe as you're trying to make out. So I continue saying no mention of tribe. You can't pick and choose what you want the word to mean. This is confusion. I still stand by this statement, Tim. For your information, tribe is translated in English 133 verses, but not in Psalms 23:4. It is cited as correction, dart, rod, scepter, and staff, and all these other verses. And I said, if you wanted to double check, you can always go to the Septuagint of Psalms 23:4 and get the Greek word for rod. And the Greek word is 4464. It's rhabdos. The base from this word, a stick or wand, a cudgel, cane, or baton of royalty, a rod, scepter, staff. To your question, how can a rod comfort anyone? And how does that make sense? And does that make sense, sorry? And I gave you this verse, Proverbs 23:14. Thou shalt beat him with a rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell. Anyway, you responded, Tim, and you said, thank you for taking the time to offer up your thoughts. These weren't my thoughts. What I shared here was from dictionaries. This is from dictionaries, and this is from a search function. And I'll show you in a minute where I got it from. Okay. I looked up the Hebrew word Strong's. You've got the wrong Strong's word there, but it doesn't matter. It's found in the Bible 190 times. How many times do you think it's translated in English as tribe? As you can see here, you give me a link to Bible Hub. And you count it up 140 times out of 190 instances. That is 74% of the time. Shabbat is translated into English as tribe. But that doesn't make the meaning mean tribe just because it appears a lot of times. So you question me. So when you say you can't pick and choose, My thoughts would be this is a dual meaning. It means both. You have not proved that by what you've said. And then you go on to deflect and talk about something else that I was not interested in talking about, so I'm not going to answer that, but I actually want to show you the basis of my comment. I use I use Logos Bible software. You may or may not have heard it before, but here we go. Here is Shebeet, the word that we're talking about, and I said to you, everything after the colon is how it's translated in English. That's what I said. And I said, when you're picking the word tribe, you're meaning Shebeet to mean tribe. That's picking and choosing, because that's not the definition. Here is the definition. And what you're doing is you're saying in verse Psalms 23:4, you're saying that this word means tribe, and it doesn't. So I will show you where I got that information from. Okay, got the word rod using the ESV. Okay, so I quoted the Brown Diver Briggs. See this pink highlight? My Bible software highlights and finds the verse that we're looking at. So we're just going to scroll down until we find the pink. And here is the pink here. It's a shepherd's implement, a club. This is Psalms 23:4. So you look at the rod, a staff, evidently common article for smiting. And the being particular, it's a shepherd's implement here. That's what is meant in Psalms 23:4. I also gave you the halot. These are lexicons. That was the Brown Diver Briggs. This is the halot. Okay, I scroll down and find the pink. Here we go. A shepherd's staff, quoting Psalms 23:4. It's a rod. It's not a tribe, it's a rod. The shepherd's staff. I also quoted you Jensenius lexicon, Hebrew Chaldee lexicon of the Old Testament, and straight away it's Psalms 23:4. A shepherd's rod, a crook. There you go. And I also gave you this lexicon here. This is a dictionary of biblical languages with semantic domains, Hebrew of the Old Testament. Okay, and it has pinpointed Psalms 23:4 here. So the meaning is a rod, a staff, a stick, that is a wooden stick of various lengths and thicknesses, used as a versatile tool for controlling individuals in the herd or flock and other uses. Quoting Psalms 23:4. Note, also used for striking in punishment or a weapon. Now, as you can see, I have copied these and put it in my comment. I've copy and pasted our little I've copy and pasted in this screen here. This was your comment. So you believe that Shebeet means tribe, based on because you saw the word tribe. And I tried to explain to you, and I gave you these 4 lexicons that say it's a shepherd's implement. This is not my thoughts, Tim. I've literally copied and pasted for you. In regards to this down here, I'll show you where I got that from. I'll just get at the screen view. What's happening here? Sorry about that, I was having trouble getting out of the screen view. Okay, back to it. So you are correct, Tim. When you put in the Strong's word and you do a search for Strong's word 7626, it comes up with 190 results, which is what you said in your comment back to me. This is where you set it. Excuse me. What did you say? I counted up to 40. Yeah. Shebet is found in the Bible 190 times. You're correct. Not arguing with you there. Right? But as you can see, Shebet, I said everything after here, after the colon, is how it's translated in English. So, Shebet correction, I did a search. It appears 3 times. I did a search, Shebet for dart. It appears 1 time. I did a search, Shebet rod. It appears in 36 verses. I did a search for Shebet scepter. It appears in 9 verses. I did a search, Shebet staff. It appears in 9 verses. I did a search, Shebet for tribe. It appears in 130 verses. So, you said you count up to 140 times. Well, I think it's 130. So then your maths might be a little bit out. But even though it appears 130 verses, it appears as tribe, doesn't mean that when it's in Psalms 23 and 4 that means tribe. It doesn't mean that. It means a rod, a shepherd's implement. So, in my understanding, you've taken a word here that you like, tribe. You like the word tribe for this verse, and you've applied it based on the fact that you see the word tribe here, and that's what you want it to mean. That's why I mean you cutting and pasting the understanding. Now, I'm not just talking out my backside. Okay, this is the Strong's Dictionary. You can pause the video here and read that. Okay, I've actually got a duplicate copy here. Now, in the Hebrew section of the Strong's, it tells you how to read it, the plan of the book. Right, so I'll move that over here so we can see it on this screen. You got your Shebet here, right? Number 1, all the original words are treated in the alphabetical Hebrew order and are numbered regularly from the first to the last. So there's your Strong's number. There is your Hebrew's word. Number 2, immediately after each word is given its exact equivalent in English letters. So this is the exact equivalent of this word in English letters. Number 3, next follows the precise pronunciation. So that's the exact equivalent in English letters, and this is spelt so you can be able to pronounce this word, this Hebrew word, Shebet. Number 4, ensuing a tracing of the etymology. That is basically from here, from an unused root meaning to meaning. That's tracing the etymology. That's what that is there. Number 5, in the case of names, the same method is pursued, and after the general style of the Common English Version is given, and a few words of explanation are added to identify it. So this here is the definition. That's the definition of Shebet. Okay, and finally, after the punctuation mark, colon, dash, are given all the different renderings of the word in the Authorized English Dictionary, Authorized English Version, arranged in alphabetical order. This is how it's translated in English in other verses, which is what I was showing here. Correction. It appears in Job 37:13. It also appears in the verse, but that's not Shebet if you look it up, and that's not Shebet. Rod is, and rod is. Okay, the dart appears 1 time, and this is what I showed you in my comment. This is what I showed you. Correction appears in Job 37:13. Dart appears in 2 Samuel 18:14. Rod appears in 36 verses, and I gave you a couple examples of those verses. Scepter appears in 9 verses, and I gave you a couple examples. And staff appears in 9 verses, and I gave you a couple examples. So this here is not my opinion. It's not my thoughts. That is how you read the Strong's Dictionary. I don't mean to come off as rude, but if you're using a tool like Strong's, you need to understand how to use it. Okay, it's after the punctuation, all the different renderings of the word authorized in English version. Okay, so I'm not the only one that has this understanding. I even have a hard copy of Strong's Concordance. This is the version of Strong's Concordance that I own, my hard copy, and I actually took a photo of the inside of the Hebrew. I'll just scroll in. Okay, this is an example from the Hebrew Aramaic Dictionary. It tells you the Strong's number, the word appears in original Hebrew spelling, the word represented English letters, the pronunciation, information regarding relation to other Hebrew Aramaic words. Okay, and underneath here we've got here the brief English definitions shown by italics. So everywhere from here, to migrate, that's the definition of this word, to sown. And after the long dash, which is here, everything after that dash is a complete alphabetical listing of all renderings of the Hebrew Aramaic word in the KJV. This Strong's Concordance is for the KJV. So if you're, Tim, using the English Standard Version, you need an English Standard Version of Strong's. So there's, the electronic copy says what the hard copy says. And, I did a search, how to use the Strong's Concordance. And this one popped up. This is, I don't know, somebody's website explaining how to use a Strong's Concordance. And you scroll down and they say exactly what I say. Where is it? It says, now remember about the colon dash. The full colon with a dash, everything after it is just the way it's been translated in other verses in the KJV. That's what I said to you, Tim. This is another website explaining how to use a Strong's Concordance. And briefly they said here, you've got the Greek word, the schisma, the etymology root from which the word was formed, the meaning of the word, and after you see the symbol colon dash, there follows a list of all the other words into which the schisma has been translated. Yeah, I'm not making this up, Tim. I'm not making it up at all. So there's my comment. Do you know that every word after the colon in a Strong's definition is how the word is translated in English? And then I said to you, if you use a lexicon Hebrew dictionary, it will give you further and more accurate understanding of what to mean. It's not tribe. And I gave you references for you to go and check. Now, you like to use Bible Hub? Well, let's just go and use Bible Hub. Yeah, here's the Bible Hub link you gave me. Hebrew. No, let's forget that. Let's. I'm not very familiar with Bible Hub, but anyway, it was Psalms 23:4. Okay, let's look at the lexicon. Look through the valley, Charlotte Jeff, your star, your rod. There you go, rod. Let's click on that. You've got your Strongs. Let's look at the Brown Dover Briggs. A staff. There you go, Shepherd's Implement, Psalms 23:4. See, it's just not my Bible software, Tim. You could have found that on your own in Bible Hub for Shabbat. In Psalms 23:4, it doesn't mean tribe, it means a shepherd's implement. I don't know what to say. I mean, I appreciate you thanking me for taking my time, but these weren't my thoughts. It's just truth. It's how you read the Strong's Dictionary. And I always recommend using lexicons because they tell you what it means in that particular verse. See, what you've done is you've chosen the word tribe and you have applied it to Psalms 23:4 to mean tribe. That's what you've done. Look up the Hebrew meaning for rod. It's not what everyone thinks. You think it means tribe, and you've applied tribe to this verse with no proof. And your explanation, because you've looked it up and 190 times, it appears in the Bible, and 140 times out of those 190 times, at 70% of the time, Shabbat is translated in English, and you think it could be a dual meaning. Prove that it's a dual meaning, Tim. If you prove that that's a dual meaning, I'll zip my mouth and do another video apologizing to you. I don't see how it's a dual meaning. Now, I wanted to give you this as an example. If I said to you, Tim, find my compass, seems like a pretty easy enough task. But compass can mean so many more things. Are you going to find an actual compass that points to a magnetic north? Are you going to find the perimeter of something? Are you going to find the area of something? Are you going to find the range of something? Are you going to pass the circuit of something? Are you going to find an instrument that draws circles? Are you going to find a constellation? Find my compass, Tim. What am I saying when I'm asking that? I guess you've got no choice but to pick or take a stab, a guess to what I mean, because you have no other frame of reference. This is what the Strong's Dictionary is used for. This is what Hebrew lexicons and Greek lexicons are used for. We're not guessing, we're pinpointing. And, you know, if you're teaching, be accurate about it. Because I also said you can cross-reference. If you want to double check, you can always go to the Septuagint. Here's the Septuagint. Let's put in Psalms 23:4. That's 24:4 in the Hebrew Bible, so we'll scroll up. Oh, we've gone too far. Be this one here. It's this one here is 23:4 in the Hebrew Bible. For even if I should go in the middle of the shadow of death, I will not fear evil things, because you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they exhort me. And right-click rod. Here's the Strong's word. Rhabdos, from the base, a stick or wand. There is your double checking. It's just double checking. The Septuagint is the Greek version of the Old Testament. So if you're not 100% sure what a word means, you can always check it with the Septuagint. Personally, Tim, I'm just disappointed. You still want to believe that these are just my thoughts and that your reasoning, because it appears 74% of the time to mean tribe, that means it's a dual meaning. And in regards to this, I would have to check everything you're saying, every single word of every single post. I'd have to check what you're teaching, check the understanding before I made even any one comment. Because I test everything, Tim. So this is why I'm not answering this. I'm not answering these comments. My comment to you was purely about the first things you said in this post. That's all I concern myself with my comment. I'd have to check everything that you're saying here to form an opinion of what you're saying. And to be honest, over the years I've been watching you, you make this same rookie error over and over again. You do it all the time. And I just know to undo what you're doing, I'd have to spend too much time looking at it, and that's not my job. You're the one teaching. You should be double checking your work before you're teaching it. This to me is a rookie mistake. You're failing to use the dictionary correctly. And I don't mean to make you look foolish. I think you've just done that job on your own. You've been teaching and studying the Bible longer than me, Tim. How do you make this mistake? I don't understand how you make it. Well, I do. I do understand. You believe a certain type of thing and you're trying to prove it. You believe in a certain doctrine and you're trying to prove it through words. But you've picked the word tribe because you saw it in the definition and you are applying it to Psalms 23:4. And that's not what's meant. This is not my thoughts. This is providing you information to show you that you've made a mistake, hoping that you might correct your error. But you don't want to. You want to talk about something else. It's like you literally cannot see what I was trying to show you. Well, I hope in this video you can see it more beyond just words on a page. I'm going to end this video. I'm sure perhaps you might be blocking me in future. Everybody seems to do. Because every time I provide dictionary definitions, I'm told, thank you for writing a thesis. Thank you for sharing your opinion. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. They just see a long comment and think it's just me talking out my hat. No, I'm providing evidence, and it just seems like people just don't care. They don't care to actually read it. This is sad to me. This is sad. You get a word wrong here. How many other words have you got wrong in the rest of this? You're going from one understanding to another. A wrong understanding to a wrong understanding and going, see, it all makes sense. It doesn't. Anyone who's testing what you're saying, Tim, that can use basic tools like looking at a dictionary can see your errors. They can see it. But fortunately for you, most people are lazy and they don't bother testing. So, wow, Brother Tim, you're at it again. Wonderful. Amazing. See, I don't agree. You've made an error. I love this. You've made an error. These people are not people that love truth. They're just hearing what you're saying and just going along with it. They're not testing it. Because if they did, they pretty much would come up with what I've that have comments pretty much mimicking mine. It's not the right word that you've applied. You've applied the wrong word, therefore you're on the wrong understanding. Using the wrong word here and applying to other places where you see rod. And coming up with a doctrine because you believe in particular groups. Oh, have at it. I don't suspect this video is going to educate you much. I really just think you're going to dig in your heels and be stubborn about it. Perhaps this video is for everybody else that's watching on my channel. Who knows? But truth should mean something. Truth should be lifted up, not errors, not confusion. You can't pick and choose what you want the word to mean. Sorry, Tim. Anyway, I'm signing off. Till the next video.